Hey guys, sorry this video is kind of late, about a week late, but my internet got messed up last week and I couldn't post a video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a video that was supposed to be for last week today, and later on today I'm going to post uh, the new topic, which is for today. Um, okay, so the topic for last week was being transgendered in the workplace, which is something that I actually wanted to personally talk about because I've had some issues with that and my previous employer, or my former employer, you could say. I worked for that company for about 2 years before I decided to quit, and I went into this company being, trans but pre-T and whatever, and most people would usually read me as a butch lesbian or whatever, so they never really took me seriously. So when I did start to transition physically using hormones and whatnot, and I started to look consistently more male, I started to get more discrimination, and I noticed this slowly but surely. Uh, Before I started testosterone, I had been in a previous account at my job, and I had made it to supervisor, and there was no problem. Everything was cool. Everybody got along, and blah blah blah. Then after that, decided to transfer to a different account, to a different location, but for the same company. And about a month or two after I started on that account, I started to do T, and I started to physically transition. After that, even though I busted my ass, and even though I was one of the best employees on the staff, I was never considered for promotion because my status was controversial. Or so my former boss said, that even though he would vouch for me to higher management, and he knew that I was the best on the team and that I brought the stats and I broke records on that account, that unfortunately I wouldn't be a good candidate because I'm too controversial and I'm too opinionated as well. Because when people ask about my transgender status, I educate them. I don't stay quiet about it, nor do I get offended, because I think through education, that's how people open their minds. And honestly, it would make my life easier if people knew how to treat people like me. And it upset me that after giving 2 years of my life to this company, that I was forced to quit because they would not let me transfer back to my previous account, and I had no hopes for growing in the account that I was in. So I quit and I went somewhere else that was more trans friendly. Thank God, my new job is great. They're very accepting. Very few people know that I'm a trans guy there, and they're only people that I know previously from my other job, and they knew me when I was pre-T. But other than that, everybody um, thinks I'm a regular bio guy. The people that do know, like this, HR and stuff like that, refer to me as male, and um, I'm just a regular guy. In my previous job, my boss wouldn't allow me to use the men's bathroom. I had to use the female bathroom, which was extremely awkward because I'd walk in there, and obviously I have facial hair and a deep voice, and um, I look distinctly male, and these women would walk in and they'd be like, what the hell are you doing in here? But which got me to a point where I just avoid going to the bathroom altogether. If I could during the day, if I could hold it, then I would. If not, when I'd go out to lunch, whatever establishment I went to have food, I just go there. Um, I don't know. I know I sound really bitter, because I am. Because once I quit, I found out that my previous boss put on my file at work a no return policy, which basically means that I am not eligible for rehire in that company, even though I quit willingly. And that's actually technically against the law. He's not supposed to put a no hire on my file unless I broke contract or I was fired for fraud or drug abuse or some, wild situation like that. And I was gonna press charges. I was gonna sue the company for defamation because that stays on my permanent work record, and any company that I do apply for in the future, if they decide to do a background check, could, refuse the job, or to refuse to give me a job based on that status only. Um, but then I realized, it's not worth it. I don't want to. I mean, at least in the country that I live in, it's not really worth suing for that type of situation. At least in that, not against a huge corporation such as my previous employer. Um, what I just did, I got my check that they owed me. I took my money. I said, "All right, fuck you guys, peace." And I'm happy where I'm at my new job. I'm no longer stressed. I've dropped a lot of weight. I've lost about 20 pounds in the last month and a half since I quit. And it makes a big difference, the environment that you're in. That's pretty much the only work experience I really have being trans. I've only been working for about 3 years, and out of those 3 years, I've been on T about half of that time. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my opinion on being trans in the workplace. It's hard when you're around people who are closed-minded and want to use that against you. But if you're in a positive environment that's trans friendly, that's gay friendly, that has strong anti-discrimination policies, and so on and so forth, then it's not that hard. I still haven't gotten my papers changed, at least not my name legally changed here, because since I wasn't born in this country, I cannot get my name legally changed. I'd have to go to the States and have it changed on my birth certificate and then bring it here and have it changed on my legal ID. But luckily I have a very ambiguous female name, which people at work just take it as, like the name that I have it's Lebanese. So people just take it as a regular guy, weird guy name, like kind of like Misha or something like that. Something that sounds girly, but could be masculine in a different language. So, but then people just refer to me as Shane, and I just tell them from the get-go I like being called Shane, and they kind of stick with that. And I don't know. I'm just a regular guy, and it feels good. And I recommend to anybody that's transitioning. It's not easy to transition during a job when they knew you as something else, unless you're in a very positive environment. You might come into certain complications. I would strongly recommend it. It's something that I should have done from the get-go. Is if you're able to, because again I understand the economy isn't forgiving at the moment, so it's not that easy to like drop a job and get a new one. But if that's you know possible for you, then I'd recommend just quitting and starting somewhere new where nobody knows you, and you could just be you and not have to worry about some kind of discrimination. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the topic. Uh, Thanks for listening, guys, and peace out, YouTube.